Welcome to the Seven Dads TV podcast. I'm your host, Ken Wood. Today, I have a very funny guest, Chris Barrett.
Hey.
Very funny comedian from the Detroit area. You have performed all over the state. I know you've opened up for some pretty decent people, right? Or some...
Yeah. Some Michigan guys. I guess the biggest one I did so far was I got to open for Craig Shoemaker.
Okay, yeah, you told me about
Yeah,
that.
he's I can tell you the story for that real quick. I was in Iraq, and my sergeant gave me a DVD of this guy's stand-up.
Thank you for your service, by the way. I feel like I should say that.
I don't know what to say about that. I have a hard time. I'm like, I was trying to get college money the whole time. I was high on cough syrup, literally high on cough syrup the entire time.
Wow.
Thank you for your service. Air duster too. Yeah, that's another thing.
Support our troops. Support them. If you can, send over your vials of fucking cough medicine and air duster.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, we were cleaning a lot of laptops. I'll tell you, we're going through that
shit. Wow.
But yeah,
God bless this country.
But yeah, he gave me his DVD, and like, I mean, I'd seen stand-up comedy before. You know, normal general public sees it through whatever. Robin Williams, bigger guys.
Right.
But like, he gave me the DVD, and it was like one of the only stand-up DVDs that I had and owned. So like, I would watch this multiple times, you know. And then I told Joel Fragmenti, who's the guy who does the advanced class at Ridley's.
Yep.
I told him that kind of story, about the DVD, and he was like one of the first comedians that, I got into, and, he kind of inspired me a little bit to do comedy, even though back then I didn't even do it yet. And Joel had him on the Mark Ridley's comedy podcast thing that they have. They always interview the headliner of the week.
Yeah.
And he brought the story up to Craig, and Craig like almost immediately was like, "Hey, have him open up for me." So I get a call from Joel. He's like, "Call me back right now." I was like, "Oh shit, what happened? Like, this is probably bad. Like, is Joel dying? What's going on?" And then I called him, and he didn't answer. He called me back, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna punch you through to somebody." I'm like, "All right." Craig is on the phone now. He's like, "Hey, Chris, heard you're a fan of my work, and I kind of inspired you, and this and that." He's like, "How would you like to open up for me this weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday at Ridley's?" I was like, "No, I can't do it. My wife would get very angry at me." No, no, obviously I was like, "Yeah, we're doing it." It was our anniversary weekend too.
Oh, was it really?
That's another funny story. I had a show on Saturday. In Canada that I had to cancel. But I had made it okay with my wife. I'm like, "Yeah, we'll get a nice hotel. We'll go to Niagara Falls, all this shit." Yep. And then
romance.
And then that Monday I had to go upstairs and be like, "I'm so happy right now, but I know you're going to be mad at me." She's like, "Why?" I'm like, "I just got asked to open up for Craig Shoemaker Thursday, Friday, Saturday at Ridley's." She's like, "Oh, I'm happy for you, but I'm pissed at you at the same time." So
yeah. That is the life of a married comedian right there.
So that was to this date and probably forever, the only biggest comedian I'll ever open for,
I don't know. For the short time I've seen you do comedy and seen your name around, you've been everywhere. Like, you've really been opening for a lot of people and just, gotten your name out there and truly performed everywhere. Whether it's a shitty show or it's like a booked good showcase.
Well, that's like one of the things, like, I kind of seen from Josh Adams. Josh Adams?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, like, I seen him everywhere. I've seen him at every open mic I've ever gone to. There's that open mic that just down the road over there at Grizzlies.
Oh yeah, even worse.
Right, Grizzlies. I'm at Grizzlies. There's like 5 comedians total there. There's 2 like audience members there. Nothing else.
Yeah.
I'm on stage, and then I see Josh Adams come walking in. And for me, that gave me like the thing in my head. I'm like, you just gotta go whenever you can, be on stage always, wherever. It doesn't matter. Like, if you can make a room with only 6, 7 people in there that don't want to be there, laugh. That's like a really good testament to your comedy,
No,
you know?
without a doubt. And I think when it's other comedians too,
Oh,
I think you
yeah.
have to like almost earn their laughs.
Yeah.
Like it's harder. And that's been my problem is like when I started comedy, I went to all the open mics, had a little bit of success on the internet, and then I was like, fuck these open mics. These are
Yeah.
fucking terrible. I was like, these are fucking awful. You go there, there's like 20 other open mic comedians that are like, okay, let's like, I don't know. It's just it's a different energy than an actual showcase or like
Yeah.
a open mic that's
Soul
booked at a
crushing.
yes, it's very,
Mhm.
very because it's a different energy in the room. And that's something I've learned over the years of like it's a different monster. You can't
Mhm.
go in there with some of the stuff that might work at a actual show doesn't work there.
Oh, yeah, it's and if you're working like me, if I'm working on stuff that I know is for, like, a show like that, I'm not expecting to get laughs. So I'm
That's the
just
biggest
doing
thing.
it, and I don't know, I've kind of made myself numb to that whole thing. I just go in and I'm like, "You know what? I don't give a shit if I get laughs or not." I have a goal in my mind. I'm like, "I wanna talk to the audience today. I wanna improvise a little bit today," or, "I've got these 3 jokes I wanna say out loud in front of people." And then if I accomplish that, then it's good for me. If I got laughs or whatever, that's like secondary in my mind now. I'm just like, I've got these goals. I'm coming in. You're sitting there for 3 hours, just so you get up there for 5 fucking minutes. Yeah.
Dude,
So
like you
that's a
said,
win for me is if I got those goals that I had in my head before I got there, if I get those done, I'm like, all right, cool. It's
yeah,
good.
and that's honestly how you have to look at it because it's the small wins because it is fucking soul crushing.
Yeah.
It is very, very soul
If you're
crushing.
expecting if you're expecting laughs and at like New Way and like nobody's fucking paying attention, you're gonna have a bad time. Just
I remember it's funny you mentioned Grizzlies. I remember during the pandemic, obviously there was no mics, and I watched like a bunch of comedy documentaries.
yeah.
And obviously, if you listen to all the greats, they say you have to bomb, you have to
Mm-hmm.
go up, go up, go up, you have to bomb. So I went up to Grizzlies. It was the first open mic after the pandemic, and I was like, I don't care if I bomb. I was like, I'm gonna go up there and I'm just gonna do my thing, dude. I ate it so hard. Like to this day, it was one of the hardest I've ever ate it. I remember just trying to do an act out and just going, I look so gay right now. I was like, I was trying too hard for that moment. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And I
yeah.
was like, this is not working. And I remember looking down at my phone and I did like 4.5 minutes and I was like, I'm going. I was like, there's no point of me saying, like, I looked at my phone, I was like 4.5 minutes, and then I looked at the piece of paper and I was like, there's no point of me saying this next thing. All right, guys, have a
See
good
you
one.
later. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go blow my brains out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's around right now. Actually, 2 years ago is when I started back up doing comedy.
Okay, because you did take a break, right? You
Right.
think you
Yeah.
said?
I started in Germany. I did it for about 3 years there. Germany scene, there was only maybe 13 comedians, one booker in
Okay,
the Frankfurt area, and you can only get up maybe 3 or 4 times a month,
okay,
right? And then when you got up, you did get a lot of time though. You got like 15 minutes. As
okay.
a new comedian, getting 15 minutes is like insane.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, I learned a lot from that just because it was a lot of the same audience coming back, so it forced me to always write new jokes. The audience was awesome. They were a great audience. I had my solid set from that, and I came back 2 years ago. First place I go to, Gratiot Pub,
Okay.
right? So I walk in Gratiot Pub. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do 5 minutes or 7 minutes from my old tight set, and ate shit so bad. And I was so nervous. I didn't think I was gonna be that nervous, and I was like, "Why the fuck did I come back and start doing this? Like, why? Why am I gonna do this again? Like, why? Why do I want to?" I was feeling good about my life, and why am I doing this? But I got addicted to it again. It was
Yeah,
like, yeah, I just had to find new ways and learn again how to
yeah.
write jokes and do all that stuff.
And I think relearning stuff because there's times where I'll relearn a lesson and be like, why did you do that? You
Yeah.
know, like it's just like you know what you're doing, and sometimes you just fucking fail.
Yeah.
Like
So,
sometimes you just bomb.
but that's the other thing I try to tell people. I'm like, there'll be some people, they'll have like their set and they'll have their set thing they do, and they'll always go up and just do that same thing.
Yeah.
And it's comforting, right? Because you're like, oh, I know these work. These
Yeah.
work, and I'm like, get up there, do something different. Like,
Yeah.
do something, do an impression. If you've never done impressions, do a fucking impression. Do an act out. Do
Yeah.
something weird, just because that's the only way you're gonna learn or you're gonna grow is if you do, some weird shit
Yeah. It's
that you're uncomfortable with, and you're gonna eat shit, but then you're gonna learn something from it. You're gonna be like, I suck at impressions. Never do impressions again.
now, how do you feel about story comedians?
Story
And do
comedians.
you consider yourself a story comedian?
I don't know. Like I know there's so many different like ways that people look at it. I think it's kind of like short jokes within a story, I guess. Like there is a
Y-
narrative to
Well,
most of
yeah,
it.
that's how you would actually do it. But a lot of
Yeah,
times you see at open mics, like people will go up there with like one story for the whole 5 minutes, and
like
like sometimes
two
I've seen,
punchlines.
yeah, and I've seen people like have good premises
Yeah.
and then just completely like lose the crowd. 'Cause it's like
Mhm.
you're not telling jokes. Like it depends. I don't know. It's weird. But then professionals do it so fucking well. There's like
Yeah.
12 punchlines within a minute or something like that while they're telling a story.
Well, I think people just have a hard time like with the punchline aspect of the whole thing, thinking like it has to be a fucking yeah, it might be funny, but you have to have a thing you hit on a punchline. You have to hit a punchline
Yeah.
and give a break to for people hopefully to laugh.
Yeah.
And there has to be something in there. I guess that's like I think I guess they are stories that I'm telling, but they usually start off as just a single joke, as like I don't know, my son,
Like a premise
yeah,
type
like
thing.
just a premise, and then build around it, add more to it, and that's probably I think the easiest way that I have it with it, because it's essentially you're just adding another joke, single joke to it until it's like 3 minutes, a 3-minute story that is just a bunch of jokes smashed
Right. Right.
together. So that's one of the hardest things that I've encountered lately is I have like a set that I do, and then trying to write just for that set, you know, sitting down and going, no, don't just write about the random stupid fucking thing you thought about. You have to write about your child with autism, the war, or your wife who's German, and that's probably been one of my biggest things that or hardest struggles I've had. It's because I always have just these random funny things that pop in my head, and it'll be a joke, and I'll tell it at like an open mic, and I'm like, it doesn't fit in my fucking
Yeah.
set.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I have like an entire set of just random bar shit that I say, and then I have my club set where you got to do a club or it's
Well,
not as offensive.
okay, I was just gonna say that. Now, do you feel like is your club set way cleaner than your?
It's like cleaner, it's less like controversial, I'd say, and it's like it's something that I feel like it goes almost anywhere. Like
Okay.
I mean, a lot of the places I've gone to, like I can go to Ann Arbor, I can go to some of these collegey, like very left leaning places, do that set, and it'll get laughs. I can go to fucking Richmond, Michigan, where they're all like rebel, rebel,
Yeah.
rebel,
Yeah. Don't
and then do yeah,
Yeah.
and do that, and it'll work. So like I know it's a go anywhere thing.
Okay.
So and I know that if I send that clip to the club, they'll look at it, they'll go, this guy's not being really controversial, he's not being too dirty, he's not being like gross or anything like that,
Yeah.
and it's safer. It's still kind of riding that edge of, oh, it's kind of offensive, oh, that's kind of dirty or
Right.
whatever.
Right. Right.
But bar stuff, I could do that at a bar, it works, but it's not as good as just walking up and being like, my wife's shoving a 12-inch dildo in my ass. They
Is it?
love that at bars. They're
Yeah.
just like, yeah, we're talking about killing myself.
Yeah, I
They
noticed that a
love that.
lot in a lot of your clips. It's like that. I was actually I think I've written that down. Yeah, no, your comedy talks about killing a lot. That's literally what I have wrote down.
Well, yeah, the one of the last clips I did, I was in Windsor, the Windsor Comedy Club,
Okay.
and the crowd was just like a weird mixed crowd, and like all the comedians were coming out. They were doing well, but they still had like that feeling of like, oh, I don't feel like I got them. I don't feel like I really got
Yeah.
them. You know?
Well, let me ask you this real fast. Are Canada I've heard Canada crowds are just different. They're nicer. They're
Yeah.
more they react to blue material or darker
Oh
material
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
harder. Like they more
Well,
like, "Oh, hey, I don't know about that one."
sometimes like but they're really, I feel like they're really supportive, like they're really, I don't know, they
Participation trophy.
lison,
Like,
especially
good job.
I don't know
Good
about
job,
all
bud.
the, yeah, I don't know about all the places, but definitely the Craft Heads Brewery, the Windsor Comedy Club,
Okay.
they're like, when they come there, they're actually there to see comedy, so you are, it's really a club feel,
Okay.
you know. So yeah, it's like, how do I fucking explain, how do I explain it?
Canadian people are nicer.
Canadian people are nicer.
That's
They're more
all around.
respective of what you're doing, you know?
Yeah.
They'll give you a chance.
Have you ever dealt with a really bad heckler?
Yeah. I mean, I've dealt with a few. I mean, in the Germany times, it was
Some Nazi
less,
hecklers?
some Nazi hecklers, yeah.
Some Nazi hecklers?
We
That'd
had
be
a
scary.
I had a guy say to me, "I'm going to hell twice." He's like, "You're going to hell twice for that shit." I was like, I don't know what to say to you about that. I deal with hecklers different. Like some people, they take it as like an offense, like, how dare you talk while I am talking, and they like go hard at the person. Some people, they do like a, like, oh yeah, this guy wants to talk, everybody, huh? Yeah, let's
Yeah.
get him, who? And then you know, I don't know. I deal with it more as kind of like I do like self-deprecating type thing.
Okay.
You guys like, you're gay. I'm like, yeah, probably. I probably am gay, you know? You're kind of cute, you know, like,
Who knows?
right. Or I make it more of like a conversation between me and the person. And then if they keep going, I'm like, all right, you gotta just shut the fuck up. Cause
Yeah. And
like, you're cool and everything. Just shut the fuck up, please.
yeah.
Let me finish. I got a couple more dick jokes. I'll be gone. You can get drunk, drive home, beat your fucking wife, hopefully die on the way home in a car
Yeah.
accident.
No, heckler. Yeah. No, seriously, because hecklers are someone that you should be okay with, like being like committing a hate crime to, is what I'm
Yeah,
trying to say.
exactly.
Like you should cut their brakes on their way home. Like
Yeah,
they're an interesting species
yeah,
of
yeah,
people that's like, I'm gonna buy tickets or just go to this comedy show. Someone's
yeah.
up here talking with the microphone and I'm gonna interrupt, put the attention on me. And one thing I realized is that it whenever I'm at a show and I see a heckler, it's almost like they really want to be talked to. That someone
Yeah.
eventually it's gonna come down to someone has to like
Somebody
nip it
has
in
to
the
do
bud,
it. Yeah,
you know?
somebody's gonna have to shut this fucking guy down.
Yes.
And a lot of people, like, they'll be like, oh, I'm just gonna ignore what's happening over there, and
Yeah.
hopefully, you know, the next guy will. But it's the fuck was I gonna say? Shit. My fucking brain just
The
died. I'm looking
hecklers
at the
just
Arnold Palmer box over
yeah,
there.
yeah, it's good. You know they come in cans now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, dude, this single man apartment is filled with treasures like that.
It-
One thing I noticed is that I'm like, damn, dude, I really got to stop putting my guests next to my fucking dirty sink, dude. It's like, it's crazy. Yeah, it's like there's dirty sponges in there, and it's crazy. Is I tried to do the dishes, and then I realized there's 6 plates with fucking like ranch
There's
just
fire
stuck to them.
extinguisher here, just
Yeah,
in
you got
case.
there's 2 of them. I got 2 of them.
Is it like regulation or something?
I think you have to have one, but then I don't know. I found the other one, and I just haven't put it away since I found it. Because I'm fucking lazy, you know. But it's this is a classic single man apartment.
Well, so heckler guys. We were talking about
Yeah,
heckler guys. I'm still not remembering what I wanted to fucking say about it. Heckler people. Oh, it's like these. I think it's a lot because a lot of comedians only want to post their like crowd work shit.
yeah, that's so huge.
They don't
Now.
want to do any of their. They don't want to post any of their material, and then so these people, they see, oh, this is comedy. It's
Yeah,
a comedian talking to the audience,
and
and
I see that a lot now that people are saying that they're like heckling's almost getting worse.
yeah,
I heard that like Pete Davidson got heckled off stage in like in like Omaha, Nebraska, or some shit like
Good.
that. Yeah, good. And then
I'm
so
not a big Pete Davidson fan.
yeah, I
You
mean,
like him?
dude, I'm a comedy nerd, and I watched SNL like all through the Trump years. You know, because I'm gay like that. Like you know, in my early 20s, I was like, I'm not going to be addicted to drugs. I'm just going to spend every Saturday night watching SNL. It's like someone should have offered me drugs back then. Like, like that's so pathetic to be like, yeah, I watched during the Alec Baldwin Trump years every Saturday.
I go, well, that's probably why I don't like it, because I didn't really watch SNL, and then I don't know. I guess I haven't really given him a chance.
He's not that good. He's
No.
no, I mean, like, he's someone who's like exactly my age. So like when I was younger, I was like, okay, I see where his jokes are coming from
Yeah.
in ways, and he kind of was relatable to me. But he kind of has that. I heard some like Ari Shafir talking about it. He has like almost that hot girl effect, where like people just treat him as a hot girl, and like he doesn't have to.
Doesn't have to be that funny. They're just like, oh, it's Pete Davidson.
He fucking performed at District 142 in Wyandotte, a couple blocks away from here, not that long ago, and I'm like, holy shit! I'm like, I don't know if he's like struggling and he has to book District 142, or if he's not trying to do the bigger venues and actually develop an act.
Well, that's the thing I've heard too. They do a lot of the small places so that it doesn't get out, and then
Yeah.
they do the bigger tour with the special and all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, my brother, I brought him a few times to open mics. He came with me, and he, like, the first time he was there, he was literally heckling every single person. I'm like, shut the fuck up, you dumbass. He's like, I thought this is what I'm supposed to do. I thought this is. I'm like, you're not helping. You're actually ruining everybody's
Yeah.
night.
At that point, you should have just grabbed the 12 gauge and took him out back, dude. There's no point.
Here's a good thing. Tim Turbo Crosby, shout out to that guy. Tim is awesome. He convinced my brother to go up there and do it. And then he felt what it feels like to be up there and do it. And then since then, like when we've gone and done, if he's been at a show or whatever, my brother doesn't talk. He doesn't heckle anymore. I'm like, yeah, see,
See,
now you know what
shit.
it feels like, you little shit.
Little fucker. But yeah, I don't know. Hecklers are a weird species. They're very interesting because they need attention almost as much as we do.
Yeah.
Or just as much.
Yeah, they don't want to go on the stage and deal with that part, but from the back in the darkness of the audience, they feel like, this is my time. This is my time for attention. Or they're just some fucking drunk 60-year-old dude
Yeah.
who's just
true, too.
fucking hammered and thinks you're literally talking to him the whole time.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck yeah, America. You know, my son, he married a girl. She came from Mexico. I don't got a problem with the dirty Mexicans. Like, what?
And no, to your point though, one thing I've realized, I've heard a lot of comedians talk about the late show on a Saturday, and I love the late shows on a Saturday. So I always go to Ridley's late shows on Saturdays.
Yeah, they can
And
be
there is a lot of drunk people who I've seen a drunk like wine mom do that exact thing of like everything the comedian's saying, she thinks he's talking to her, so she's like, I don't give a fuck. Like,
She's like,
who gives a-
yeah, you're right. You're right. I don't like that.
I'm
Don't
a
talk
good mother.
about ladies that way. Women aren't all like that. I'll show you. I'll show you my titties right now. You're like,
You're proving women are all like that
Yeah.
at that moment. Yeah.
so you are not arguing positively for your case.
And her husband's not even saying anything because he knows he's gonna get laid that night.
He's like, oh yeah, dude, man.
That's my wife. That's my
He's
lady.
firing her up right now. When she gets home, she's gonna do some weird shit tonight. That's good.
Yeah.
She might let me do butt stuff tonight. It's gonna be great.
That's the key to a relationship right there.
It was random butt stuff.
Random butt stuff. Yep.
The surprise butt sex, not the hey, tonight we're gonna have butt sex. You're like, whoa. No, it's you're having sex and then she takes it out and puts it to the butt. You're like, whoa, here we go. It's not even my birthday. What's going on here?
Just freestyling. Like, she's just riffing.
Freestyling is great for that. Freestyle.
One thing in porn I've noticed lately is there's been a lot of eating of the guy's ass in porn. Like, have
Oh.
you noticed that it's just gone up? Like the numbers of women eating men's ass has gone up in porn.
Uh,
Like I feel like there's an office with a pie chart that just like shows that
there's
year
a
by
it's like a
year.
stock market
Yeah, like one of those
type charts
graphs.
of like different like sex positions and things that are done, and they're like, oh man, I should have bought in on that women eating men's asses stock. It's skyrocketing right now. Actually, I'm a weird guy, and I watch the same video every single time.
The same video. What is
Yes,
the video?
it was it's nothing really super special about the chick. She definitely doesn't look like a coworker I had. I'll t- definitely does not look like a coworker with whom I worked with 6 years ago at Call Funeral Home in Roseville. Anyway, it's just one of those joy countdown videos,
Yeah.
right?
Is it
Where
like
she's telling you slow down.
the jerk off
Yeah,
instructions?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Slow down for a minute. Just stop for a minute. Relax. All right, do it again. Do it faster now. I like those ones.
Yeah.
And it was just this one video, and from all the other videos that I had looked at, I'm like, this one's like the perfect length. She's saying the right things for me. She doesn't say another man's name in it, because I think that's like that'll throw me off if you're doing the watching the jerk off instruction video, and then she's like, "Oh yeah, Derek, keep going," and you're like, I guess I'm Derek now. I'm Derek. Like, I hate that. Anyway, so the one video that I watch, and actually recently got taken down off of,
Really?
yep, off of YouPorn, and I'm really upset, and I have not jerked off to porn since then.
That's very, very sad.
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
yeah, I just been going with my thoughts like back in the day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Jerking
Just
off like
thinking
a
about
pilgrim.
boobs in your brain.
Hold on. My camera's like flipping out. 1 sec.
What is it doing? What the fuck is it saying? Saying there is no God. It's like, oh, what the hell, camera?
No, it's saying record audio properly. But hold on, I'm gonna stop and record it again.
Already.
Just keep going. Yeah, just keep going. Yeah, we didn't stop. Yeah, we didn't stop. There wasn't camera issues.
There
we
was
just
no
kept. There was
zero
camera.
camera issues.
There was zero camera issues right there. My
Yeah.
camera is gay. Because what the fuck? No camera issues whatsoever on this podcast.
You got to bring. I think gay is coming back, which I think is cool.
It is coming back. You're able to just say it.
Yeah.
So much. I probably shouldn't have called my camera gay though. It's just that it's not that it's not gay.
Poor camera.
It's just
Yeah.
wasn't the right use of it.
Do you have that where you anthropomorphize like objects sometimes?
I don't know what that means.
It
Do
means-
I add like personality to it? You mean?
Yeah, where you make it almost like a human. Like people do it with cars, obviously a lot.
Yeah.
Like oh, good girl. I know you're gonna keep driving and not break down on me.
Yeah.
You know.
Honestly, with my cars, I do. I name them.
Yeah.
Like I have a brand new car, 2024, but I name her Edith. And the reason I named her Edith is because I wanted her to be that old reliable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like she's not gonna break down on me. You know?
I do that with a lot of stuff. I think it's funny to just like the microwave beeping at me, like stop it, stop yelling at me,
Stop it, Helen.
yeah,
the fuck?
and it broke, and I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have yelled at it so much. Maybe I should have treated her right. Maybe she'd be here still. But yeah, the fuck were we talking about?
I don't know. The camera's still doing that fucking shit though, dude. But here's the thing: it's still recording, and it's saying if you want to record audio properly, to keep doing it.
So it's probably
still
gonna
recording.
be okay.
I fucking hope so, Chris, because you drove here, and we're 30 minutes in.
Yeah.
And I don't know why it would do that though. And I wonder if it's never done that, and the microphone. And regardless, we're using this audio.
Right. So if the audio is fucked up, it doesn't matter.
No, but I'm wondering if it's going to fuck up any of the shots and how much it did. if it fucks up any of the shots, put it in the comments. Let us know. I'm not going to look this far into editing it. All right. Let's just keep going, Chris. Because what are we gonna do? What are we gonna
I
do?
don't know.
You spend thousands of dollars on 2 cameras, and they don't work.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I just think it's Jewish people's fault. That's
It is.
it.
It's pretty hot right now to
It
blame it on
just
Jews
everything.
too.
Whether you're white supremacist, communist,
Yeah,
just blame them all. Like we can do it.
everybody's doing it, man. There's like this. I forget who said it. It was actually Floyd who said it's trendy now.
It's trendy.
It's trendy to be anti-Semitic. So,
So, one thing I wanted to talk to you about is conspiracies. Because I feel like you're a guy that has some opinions about some conspiracies.
oh yeah, dude.
Do you have a favorite conspiracy?
Oh shit, that's too hard.
That's too hard.
Some of because I was into some conspiracies that aren't conspiracies anymore. Like I was into that whole what the hell like HARP and like them manipulating the weather and shit like that.
Okay.
And like there's you can look it up. I mean in Saudi or the it's not Saudi Arabia, it's United Arab Emirates.
Okay.
They're doing that for real. They use like drones and like they do cloud seeding and shit like that. So some of the conspiracies I was into before are like not conspiracies. They were true, you know.
Okay.
But a couple of them, like the lizard people shit, like I love reading about that. Like people who really think that there's lizard people, that like politicians are like wearing lizard skin.
Dude,
What are you into that one?
Maybe, man. Mitch McConnell, Nancy Pelosi. Like, dude,
I love that one interview. Louis C.K. talked to Dick Cheney and asked him if he was a lizard. He's like, "Just tell me, just say yes or no. Are you a lizard?" And he would not say no.
Have you ever seen it's like What Is America by Sacha Baron Cohen?
No, I haven't seen that one.
He interviews Dick Cheney and he gets him to sign a waterboarding jug, like milk jug used for waterboarding, and Dick Cheney fucking actually signs it, dude. It's that's probably one of the best things I've ever seen in my fucking life, dude. Because Dick Cheney's like laughing and signing it.
Oh yeah, he had a good. Dude had a good time. He had a good go. He had a good run.
He had a good go.
He's had all that stock in KBR.
Mhm.
And who knew who got the contract in Iraq? KBR. Oh wow, that's amazing. You used to be CEO of that company, and they're the ones that are a contractor for Iraq, and they're literally, everything there that is being sold, bought, shipped. All the workers they had there, they're all KBR. That's crazy.
Dude, he's a
What a
gangster.
coincidence! What a coincidence! You were in a book. Well, I think it was Rumsfeld that was in that book, The New American Century, where they were talking about how to rebuild America's economy and make it sustainable for the next century. And that's where they brought up it would be a long, hard change unless there was some type of catalyst, like a new Pearl Harbor. And they wrote that in, I think it was like 98,
Okay.
something before 9/11
Oh,
happened.
okay.
Yeah. So then magically, while they're in office, Rumsfeld and Cheney and all those dudes, magically we get a new Pearl Harbor, 9/11.
New
And
Pearl Harbor. Magically, That's a
we
fun little
immediately
nickname.
knew, which is fucked up if you watch some of the videos. They were already talking about Osama bin Laden like couple hours into it. They're already like, yeah, Osama bin Laden, dude. He's the guy that did it. It's like, how the fuck do you guys even? It could be white supremacists, right?
Yeah.
I'd like to think that white supremacists would fly planes into buildings, for their cause. But no, they already knew who it was, Osama bin Laden, and then they already started trumping up like Iraq too.
Yeah.
They're like, oh man, Saddam, he's definitely involved with this somehow. Like he's got the capability. He's got those bombs over there. That's the thing. Like, how the hell they were so good at selling that shit to us, or that we were like terrorism, and then somehow in Iraq, which had nothing to do with it, and then oh well, they don't have weapons of mass destruction. Well, we're here already. Let's destroy everything. And that's what that kind of makes me mad, because I always say like all the media and everything, they were all pushing that war.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah,
Yeah, and then I'm arguing with, like, liberal friend 10 years later, and they're like, "Yeah, you watch Fox News. I watch CNN and MSNBC. Where you get the real news? They
yeah.
don't really propagandize." I'm like, "You fucking idiot. Look back at they got us to go to fucking Iraq too,
Yeah.
you shit bird."
CNN like live streamed the bombing of Baghdad, and
Yeah.
everyone in America was just eating popcorn. Going,
Like,
"That's,
"Oh,
oh, look at them!
yeah, let's get them. Let's get those bad guys."
Yeah." I was watching it, and I watch a lot of professional wrestling from the early 2000s.
Yeah.
That's my little autistic trait right there. It's like I don't watch TV. I only watch professional wrestling from like
Yeah.
before 2005. But there was a segment where they're debating the Iraq war, and there's Scott Steiner, who's like this big steroided guy, and then they have a Harvard graduate. The Harvard graduate is like the heel in the situation. He's like, "America, we only fighting this war for oil," and the crowd's like, "Boo!" And then the Jack guy's like, "We're fighting terrorists, and if you don't like it, you can get out." And the crowd's like, "Yeah!"
Like, "Yeah, let's kill a bunch of people."
No, but you did serve though, right?
Yeah.
You said you were in Iraq.
I was there. Yeah, I was 2003. I could join the army. 2004 to 2005, I was in Iraq. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
How do you look back on that time? Because you just had a very dark Facebook joke, I believe.
yeah,
Yeah, and I was looking, I was
yeah,
like, that's really funny. I don't know if I should laugh react to
yeah.
that.
I kind of hope that all the jokes I write will get all the emojis.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
literally had
That's
every emoji.
yeah.
The heart react, the care react, the cry react, the wow
Yeah,
react,
what?
the laugh react. That's like those are the kind of jokes I want to tell. Are the
Yeah.
ones where people are like, I don't know how to fucking react to this one. But yeah, it's because I saw a post. There was this dude from St. Clair Shores too. He had this fucking sign outside his house that said, fireworks, whatever, be respective of veterans. And he's standing next to it, and everybody's like, "Yeah, you're right. You got to be respectful of the veterans because of the fireworks." I'm like, dude, you were the shit. Okay, if you were in Iraq and you went through all that shit, and somebody lights off a firework, I don't know, you're probably thinking of Iraq already. Like I'm already thinking. Like I'm already thinking about dying. So if I hear a fucking firework go off, it's not gonna all of a sudden trigger some. Because PTSD, it might be like this for some people, but for me, it's not like a trigger thing, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, help me. It's not like that. For me, it's just like a constant fear of dying, like constantly thinking about like, oh, I might just slip and fall in the shower and break my fucking neck, and my kid's gonna come walking in and go, "Dad, I need chicken." Oh, Dad's dead.
Yeah. And he's naked at that
Mom,
point too.
Dad's dead. I need you to make me chicken nuggets. But you know what I mean? Like it's already in your brain. So like for me, I'm like, the funny thing about that though is the people that will look at that, these like I'd say mostly right wing people, they'll see that sign, they'll go, "Yeah, I'm gonna make sure I tell all the neighbors they better not fire off any fireworks. We need to make sure that this veteran gets what he needs and respect his wishes." They're the same people where somebody comes walking up and is like, "Yeah, I'm actually, non-binary. I don't really want to be called he or she. I just if you could call me they, that would be great." They're the same people would be like, "I ain't really," you know what I mean?
It's
Like,
a free country.
like you get emotional distress when somebody calls you she. Well, guess what, lady? I'm gonna call you she all fucking night. Like you can respect that guy, but you can't. I don't know. I feel like both left and right extreme people, they're the same motherfuckers.
Oh yeah.
That horseshoe thing, they're the same people.
Yeah.
That's
You
why.
go farther either way, they get hateful.
Yeah, they just they're the same fucking people. They're the same. I argue with left leaning people the same fucking thing. They make an argument against another thing. I'm like, aren't you just grouping up a bunch of people and saying that you hate them? If you just swapped out bald-headed white dudes with black dudes, you'd be a fucking racist.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but it's different. And then they have like all these mental gymnastics to make it okay
Yeah.
to be like, yeah, you're allowed to hate random white people that you don't know because they've got it way better than you. It's like, how do you know that guy? Fucking, I don't know. He witnessed his father getting his head chainsawed off by like some cartel. He's lived in poverty his entire life. He used to have to suck dick for coke on the street, everything.
But does he get pulled over?
You're right.
Does he get pulled over?
That is true. I can see that. You're probably not getting pulled over as much. But anytime you generalize people in general, like,
Yeah.
I love watching like a left-leaning person walking up to like a person of color. That's the right term, right? Is that the right term nowadays? Person of color and being like, "Oh yeah, sorry about this," blah, blah, blah. And they're like, "I'm actually a graduate from Harvard. My parents are both doctors. I live in a $400,000 mansion." You're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, but still, I'm sorry that." You know what I mean? There's like this weird. I don't know.
Yeah, we're in a weird time when it comes with all that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, I feel like now more than ever, a lot of people are sheltered and they only see things from really their sheltered perspective. Whatever way that is.
Oh yeah, I think the worst people are the people that mom and dad did give them everything they want.
Yeah, I think so.
They're
too.
the worst, horrible people to deal with because they have no clue about fucking anything, and they just open their dumb mouth all day and just say the dumbest shit that comes out of their mouth, and they see like they got like a Twitter or Reddit sub page that they read where somebody will come in with like their new idea. They'll be like, well, we should probably stop calling people homeless because that's offensive. We should call them unhoused. Like, no, maybe we should help them get a house. It's like, I'm sure you calling them homeless is like not going to be the fucking last thread that makes them blow their brains out. It's like, yeah, I just used a puddle and a t-shirt to wipe off all the dirt off of me. And now I'm walking down the street with a sign that says, please give me some money so I can eat. But somebody called me homeless. Yeah. I don't think that's their biggest problem is that we're calling homeless.
And see what their problem is I respect the homeless people that have skills that will flip a bucket down and take 2 sticks and start drumming on it.
It's rule.
If you want some pocket change, you got to earn that pocket change.
They fucking rule, dude. The dude just standing on the corner and the sign's not even like fucking interesting. It's just like it's like, help me, I need some money. Like, come on, dude. Like, be inventive, do something. Like,
yeah. Come on now.
Those dudes probably get a lot of money though. Like,
not from me.
Nah.
So
yeah. I don't have cash on me ever, so
that's what I'm saying.
It's like you take PayPal or
that's crazy. That
you'd have Venmo. You have Venmo. I'll do a Venmo thing for you. I don't know. What is it? Cash App? Yeah. I'll do Cash App. No, I don't. I just don't. I hate the homeless. That's why. No. Here it is. It's coming out. I hate them. I just for no reason.
I mean, if
you're smelly and you need to get. No, it's fucked up. It's fucked up that we live in a country that's like that. But it's like that in those social democracies where it's supposed to be a social paradise. In Germany, I worked in Frankfurt. I was a karaoke host. Walking down the street, homeless people all over the fucking place there. Okay. It's like, how does that happen when literally the government gives you a house? Like in Germany, the way the social thing is set up, they have, you could, if you don't have a job, you could unlimitedly get housing, enough money to eat, drink. They even add into the money that they give you for clothing, for cigarettes, for alcohol, everything. Okay. They add that all in there. You don't. So literally, if you lived in Germany, you would never have to work again. It's not a lot of money, so you wouldn't be doing anything cool, but you would survive. There's still people on the fucking street. I'm like, how does this happen? Because living in Germany in the beginning, I had like this elite like idea of like, oh, this is way better than America. I could just walk into a hospital and it's free, blah, blah, blah. And as soon as you start picking that apart and looking at it, you're like, this fucking sucks.
Why is that?
the medical like sucks. Nobody wants to be a doctor there,
Really?
like because they're
Yeah.
not paying them enough money.
Okay. Yeah.
So they're like, why should I go to school for 12 years so I can make slightly more than some drunk
Yeah.
fucking German redneck
Okay.
driving a forklift? Like,
Yeah.
who just had to get a forklift operator's license.
Right.
And
Okay.
me, I'm going to school for 12 years, literally like life and death situations and shit, just to make slightly more than that. Nah, no thanks.
That makes sense. Okay, that makes sense.
And they got a lot of hoops you got to jump through, like, just get money for, not having a job. They make it hard for you to do that. So I didn't experience that until I got laid off from my company. They ended up laying everybody off, and then I had to deal with all that. I'm like, wow, this fucking sucks. I hate this place now. I'm leaving. So we moved back. I was like,
So you moved back.
came back to America where you can prosper. America is the greatest fucking country. Don't look at me. America is the greatest fucking country in the world. And if you don't believe me, go live in fucking one of these paradise places you talk about. Live there for a little while. Get past the shine of the, oh, this is all new. And look, oh, they have this butcher. It's a local butcher. And you talk to him. He's a nice guy. Oh, they have fresh baked bread. Oh, look at the cobblestone streets. That's interesting. Get past that part into the where you're actually living there, working in the system, and see those little blotches and rip that open and find it out. You're gonna be like, man, this fucking sucks. They're taxing the shit out of me. The quality of life sucks here. I want to go back to America where even the poor people have an iPhone,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
The poor people are the ones making the iPhone.
Yeah. And they got them. They got
Yeah.
them.
and they got them. Oh man.
Shit, I just went into a rant about it. What else you want to hear about things I hate? No.
Do you hate the American government?
No. Oh, okay. Well,
and I mean, how do you feel about a lot of maybe left-wing protesters, or maybe even right-wing protesters talking shit about like American imperialism? And do you feel differently about American imperialism after serving? And do you hate war, or do you?
I hate war. Let's see.
I
I'm
know
a
that just got
libertarian.
deep all of a sudden.
I'm like a libertarian. I feel like I'm a libertarian just because of our government, the way it's run, and I feel like if it ran better, I'd be probably more of like a liberal Democrat,
Okay. Yeah.
like
Yeah,
where more
okay.
social programs and stuff like that. But I can't be a fucking Democrat or into social programs when I know that they're just blowing money and doing absolutely jack shit. You know what I mean? Democrats get in, they're like, "Arr," they can't get anything to work.
Yeah.
The government is just the federal government is
Keyword
way too
federal.
fucking big. It's got way too much shit. Federal government to me should be a voicemail that you just call. Your state calls and says, "Hey, we need to borrow some extra money from you so that we can do this thing. Thanks. This was Michigan." That's what it should be. No, I'm
your
in,
favorite uncle.
No, I'm big into like Michigan should have its own laws. There should be ground rules. I believe in the Constitution. I think the Constitution is fucking brilliant. There's calls from people to rewrite the Constitution. I'm like, have you read it? You fucking idiot. They go over pretty much, they're like, well, the Constitution is a bunch of rules. I'm like, no, it's not rules for us. It's rules for the government not to fucking infringe on your goddamn rights. So yeah, if we can get that sorted, if we can just take the money out of politics, I think that's what it needs to be.
Yeah, I would agree. But
It
that'll
needs-
never happen.
Yeah, it needs to go back to like the idea of it was like me or you could be congressman, senator, and
Senator Wood.
yeah,
That has a nice
that
ring
sounds
to it.
good, dude.
Yeah, that sounds like almost a porn
You need
name,
to do that. Like I can see
yeah.
the sign, everything, just from you saying
I
that.
look generic and white enough. I look like a fucking evil politician. So.
Senator Wood.
Yep.
But I think that's the way it should be, or should go back to, like, where there's no real money in politics, and the only people that would want to be
It's
a
a hot
politician.
chick just added me on
Oh,
Facebook.
did she?
Yeah, I think it's a hot chick. No, I think that's a dude with a boat. Never mind, dude
Oh,
with a boat.
that's still good. You can
Yeah.
go boating
Yeah.
to look for hot chicks.
Yeah.
So,
What were we talking about? That the American imperialism something government.
we should be it should be back where it was, like any old fucking person.
Yeah.
They live, they do their normal job, and then they get called on from Congress. They go to fucking DC. They, work out a couple bills,
Yeah.
get back in their fucking car, come back home, and then do their normal thing. It shouldn't be like a career thing, because that's how
Yeah.
it was back in the day, at least how it was supposed to be when they started it, was
Yeah.
normal citizens represent their group of people, come in, fucking take care of business, and then go back to their thing. But no, these people, they're making careers out of it. They're just
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do if your livelihood relies on you being in office?
Yep.
You're gonna say and do whatever the fuck you can.
Yep.
When somebody comes up and is like, "Hey, they're not letting me frack over here. Maybe you could talk about fracking a little bit, and maybe your uncle's gonna get a little box with some money in it sent to his house. What do you think?" And you're like, "All right, I'll do that. I'll watch the Native Americans suffer forever." As long as I can get that new yacht.
Yep. A cheap Big Mac.
Yeah.
That's something I've talked about on here before. The amount of American imperialism that I would be acceptable for or with for a cheap Big Mac. There's countries you could just throw out to the wayside. Like seriously, you just get rid of them.
Well, that's how they get us. They like pin us down and like twist us up and like throw so much shit at us so much that when they're finally like, if we do this, it's gonna be cheaper gas. Everybody's like, "All right, fucking do it, dude.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm done with this $3.40." Like,
If Joe Biden came out and said that we need to bomb Israel to make McChickens $1 again, I would fucking, dude. You people would call me anti-Semitic all day.
press the button,
man.
Joe.
Yeah,
press the fucking button.
Because $3 McChickens, fuck that shit. This is not the country I grew up in.
No, it's fucking bullshit. It's I got a significant raise at my company, and I didn't feel it. I only felt it for like 2 months, and then I was like, I feel like I'm making the same amount of money.
Yeah.
And it's insane. And most of it's because of the government. Fucking,
Yeah.
Most of it's because of the fucking government. Not Joe Biden or Trump, or it's whoever those shadow government
it's
people
the
are.
deep state. It's
The
the
fucking
deep state.
the goddamn deep state.
Yep.
There's
George Soros.
George fucking
George Soros.
George fucking, I'm gonna turn in other Jews to the Nazi Soros.
I feel like there's two types of podcasts. One where you talk about George Soros and one where you have no idea who that is, dude. Like there's only two different types of podcasts.
Well, it's the check thing you do with people, like you throw a name out and see, and if they know it, you're like, all right, this guy's fucking cool.
Yeah, dude, like
this guy
when you're
rules.
when you're at your like wife's work party and you don't know anyone, you're like, fucking George Soros, and then deep state money's thrown around, and then the one dude's like, yeah, dude, I fucking know all the
You're
district attorneys.
That's my dude over there. That's my dude. Yeah, that's the funny thing when you're testing conversations with people. You're having the like, I hate fucking small talk with people. I don't know how to do it.
Same. I fucking hate it. I'd rather talk about how the government hates us.
Yeah,
America's
like I will
collapsing.
open up a conversation with a stranger with, I hate the government.
Yeah, hey, we're all fucked, right? The government hates us.
Yeah,
Climate lockdowns are going to be a thing here. You know that, right?
it's coming soon. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to drive
Yeah, they're
because
gonna
of
enslave us all.
CO2, and we're gonna get the CO2 tax, and AOC's gonna have her PC bots that are they're gonna hear you screaming the N-word in your car.
Yeah,
and they're just gonna fly in and arrest you, and then
she's gonna be the president with her big old socialist milk titties,
dude,
big old milkers.
Well, at this point, like the way everything runs, we can have anybody be president. I think. I don't think they do much. I don't think they. I think they're literally just a mascot, and they're there for a reason for everybody to be half the country to go boo, and the other half to be like, I love you.
It's a popularity contest.
Yeah, because I mean, Trump ran on his whole thing about not, like don't take our guns and blah blah blah, and he banned a bunch of
Yeah,
shit.
bump stocks and shit.
Yeah, so I don't really think they have as much power as everybody thinks.
No, and one thing I'm kind of worried about is, as I was saying this yesterday, is that I'm afraid of getting in like 10 years, getting someone who is truly what they think Trump is, like truly a hard white nationalist.
Yeah,
Because if you know some of the white nationalist names, like some of the talking heads, whether it's Gerard Taylor, whatever that fag's name is, or
I
Richard Spencer, do you,
I know him. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
If you know who those guys are and you listen to them talk, I know I'm going to be on a list after I said it. I'm a white guy who's listening to Richard Spencer talk. I just like to see both sides. That's really it. And
It's
plus,
you have to though.
well, I was trying to write a sketch about Richard Spencer where I played Richard Spencer, and it was going to be a Chili's commercial. Like, it was going to be a white nationalist Chili's commercial, and I was going to be Richard Spencer. And I was going to get all the people, all the alt-right, all my white friends to have like tiki torches, and we were going to go up to our local Chili's and try to sit down and eat. And yeah, I couldn't get 12 other white dudes to agree to that. So
I'd do it, dude. Fuck it. It's
but
if people don't understand context and that satire,
yeah,
they're not worth. Like I don't care. There's so many people out there that are I don't know in the comedy scene. Not to bring back the comedy scene, but a lot of people worry about that type of thing of like, oh, but if you say this, then somebody
yeah,
might
yeah.
not like those people. People will say that they're like trying to be supportive and shit like that. Doesn't really matter. Like
Yeah.
they might give you a little slap on the wrist and be like, "You got to watch your language or modify your language," or what do they say? Modify your I think modify your language. But in reality, it doesn't do anything. It's like
No.
fuck those idiots. If you don't know context, if you can't understand satire, you're a fucking idiot. So you're not worth anything. Just keep doing what you're doing. You're not breeding, so thank God.
No, and that's all. That's the best thing is the people that like want abortions and everything. The like hardcore communists. They're not breeding. They're gonna breed themselves out.
Yeah, and the far right dudes are probably like incels, and
Yeah, and they're
they
probably
can't get
secretly
laid anyway.
gay.
Yeah, they're not gonna have any kids anyway. So good. Us
So
good old
good.
us good old middle of the road kind of type people are just like, yeah, I don't know. Me, I'm just like, I don't whatever gives people the most liberty and least amount of restrictions on their life is what I want. And that's about it. Like if I don't want people to get fucking hurt from other people and I don't want, you know, other people to control other people. So whatever does that, I'm cool with. Whatever the fuck somebody does in their house or even in public, like if somebody comes up to me and says, I'm a fucking cat, you have to call me kitty. Like I will do it. I don't give a shit. Like
Yeah.
I might think you're mentally ill, but but I will do it. Like I don't care. But I also respect if another person's like, no, I don't want to do it. It's like, yeah, fine.
Yeah.
People have their own opinions. As long as that guy's not physically harming or like us, I don't know, like harassing the person for it or whatever, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Just fucking do your thing. Be a cat. I don't give a
Yeah.
shit. Fucking idiot. No.
No. No, it's a free country. You should be able to do what you want.
Yeah, be as free as you can.
Honestly, I've watched
Shoot guns.
in the past week. This is kind of random, but not really. But in the past week, past like 6 days, I've watched like 5 Fast and Furious movies, and I think that's gonna be my whole personality for the next couple months,
Really?
dude. Yeah, I think I'm gonna start driving my Kia K5 really fast on the highway, and fucking, I don't know. I'm like, these movies are so fucking good. Like, I only seen the first 2, now I've seen like 5 in 6 days.
Well, you brought up when you brought up the government shit. I watched the John Adams on HBO.
Oh,
They had
okay,
a show,
yeah.
and I watched a George Washington documentary. So like that's where I've been with movies and stuff like that. And it's really the George Washington one's really good. He's
Is it accurate?
yeah, it's pretty accurate, and they don't do like a huge like big section where they're like make you like feel really 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 bad about all the slave stuff he did, but they bring it up and they show it and they say it's bad, but they don't like it wasn't a you know how the
Yeah,
most
they
of the
don't.
documentaries they're either like he was the greatest man that ever lived and then he was a horrible slave trader and that's it and there's no in between. It was kind of like a good middle road where they're like, oh, look at that. He gave up the presidency after 2 terms, setting a very good precedent for the future so that he could have been an emperor, but he didn't. And they're like, oh, by the way, he didn't free his slaves until his wife died, which is pretty shitty considering all the things he did. So I don't know. It was a good one. But anyway,
Okay.
that's where I am.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm going to be living, walking around going, George Washington.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
feel
know,
like that
dude.
is a thing that a lot of people do when they start watching something. They start like either like talking like the character in the
You
show,
get
or
pumped
like,
up.
yeah. Dude, I watch a lot of professional wrestling, and so I'm always
You're
like,
like, come here, brother.
yeah. A lot of times I'll be going to the gym and I'll be like bench pressing, listening to like WWE themes.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I wanted to touch on is your sketches on YouTube are funny as fuck, dude. I
Yeah.
really found them fucking funny. I know I told you that already, but
I
people
need
need to
to.
look up his sketches because they were very funny. Even if it was like the TikTok live shit or talking to the sex
Yeah.
workers.
Oh, dude, that one. I gotta find a way to do that one again or better.
Yeah,
It's like it
because that shit
isn't
was good, dude. The you talking about Henry Ford being mentioned in Mein Kampf, dude. That had me rolling, dude.
to random like TikTok people who are they're just literally on there to try to get people to gift them things. And they have and that's the funniest thing about those TikTok people. They have nothing else to offer
Yeah.
except that they're a person. Most of the time they're probably attractive or whatever, and they just sit there and they talk and they're just like, yeah, they have zero things to offer and they're like, oh, send me gifts, oh, thank you for the hot dog or what, like
Yeah, yeah.
they have nothing else to give, and then just to get on there with them and throw some shit like that at them, like, hey, Henry Ford, he was mentioned in Mein Kampf. They're like, what? I don't know how to deal with
Yeah.
this. Chat, send me money,
Yeah.
please. Chat. I don't know.
You talking to the sex worker was especially great because they're talking about fucking like 9/11 and shit. And she's like, "Oh, thank you for your service." You're like, "Yes, you're like tip. Thank me for my service again." Oh, that shit was good, man. That shit was really good. And even the sketch you did with Skippy Rose,
Oh yeah, she's
that was really good.
that was written by her. I didn't like I ad libbed some stuff, but like she wrote the script on that and planned all the filming and yeah, she's I don't know if you've seen her live or
A
like
couple
doing
times, yeah, yeah.
comedy. Yeah. She's really talented with that. And I don't know. That sketch like I don't know how you get stuff out, Sometimes stuff gets out and it makes some noise, some of it doesn't. So
Yeah, dude, it's tough nowadays.
trying to learn how to do that shit.
Dude, it's a different animal. When I started making stuff, it was a different animal. The algorithm was so much more user friendly, and you could it is very keyword oriented. I know that, but even back then, with like when I did my Downriver sketch and what white people do in Detroit, and those kind of both caught fire. But that's because it had a target audience and a base, and now you put it out there, and it has to catch fire in the first however many
Many
minutes, or it
yeah.
gets buried in the algorithm and shit.
Yeah, it's got to get likes, it's got to get comments and shit, and then that'll bump you a little bit, and
Yep.
then it continues to watch over it. So like if it
Yep.
starts to slow down with the likes and the comments, it also slows down how it shows people.
Well, what's interesting is like 2 weeks ago, I had like my one of the biggest posts I've ever had on Twitter, and it was a picture of Bobby Lee and Andrew Sarantino.
Yeah.
So it was a picture of them, and they're like kind of looking fruity, and I was like, my parents met in Vietnam 50 years ago today, and it got 200 likes, and I tweeted at like 5 o'clock. At 8 in the morning the next morning, it had 200 likes, and then something from there snapped, and by the next 24 hours it had almost 50,000.
Wow.
So I was like, I know, like, I pay attention to all that because I
To
tweet so
why it
much.
happened and where it happened and like
Well,
that's
pictures on Twitter automatically generate more views because they want people to go ha 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 ha, instead of reading shit,
right.
Um, so that, but I'm like, why what clicked? Because something in it clicked to where it was just like at 8 in the morning, 200 likes, which is like kind of normal for me because if the
Mhm.
algorithm will just keep getting likes. But by like 1 o'clock that day, I had like 20,000. So I'm like,
Hmm.
something.
Somebody, it's like a certain amount of people in a
eh,
certain period of time liked it or something, and the algorithm's like, "Oh, this is fire. We got to get it out there. This is
Yeah.
great."
And I think, well, because the algorithm will recognize like if there's a meme that everyone is posting and you take that meme and you post it, then the algorithm will be like, okay, this is something people are already talking about. That's why like on Twitter, it's better to like if you have a joke about Hunter Biden because he's in the news,
Yeah.
it's better to go quote like a New York Post article about the Hunter Biden thing because most people are going to get that New York Post article shoved in their face. So a lot of
Right.
times maybe the first time they see that New York Post article is with your tweet on it, making fun of it.
Right.
Because how algorithms work, it's all about what you're looking at, what you click on. If I click on your profile a bunch of times, then it's going to connect us in a weird way. Like
Yeah.
it's so fucking weird.
Yeah, so it's like hitching a ride on something else,
Yes,
basically.
yes,
Yeah.
it's definitely that.
I think Instagram, I think they slightly bumped the suicide stuff because
Yeah,
I've had couple of the reels that I posted. If it and it not even hashtag or write anything in the description about it, but if it's I say suicide or something in it, I've noticed an uptick in views.
really.
Yeah,
It's
the
interesting.
the biggest one I got right now was the one that when I was in Windsor, where I talked about, I was like, maybe I should get rid of that joke. Maybe I should just kill
Yeah.
myself. That I almost got 3,000 views from that. I was like,
Jesus.
what the fuck? But the other funny joke that I have, I'm like, only 700. What the fuck?
Yeah,
Instagram wants you to kill yourselves.
that
I don't
could
know. I
be
have to
it.
keep pointing at the. Is that
It
part of the thing? You got to make facial expressions like,
yeah, you got to keep it entertaining
okay,
for the 5 people that'll watch it to this point, you know.
for now, but in 2 years, this is what's gonna cancel you. You know,
You would think, man.
you're
You
on
would think.
stage, you got a puppet, and you got like this PC like clean comedy that you're doing, and they go back and somebody's like, "Have you seen this podcast from 5 years ago?
I
He's
feel
a white supremacist."
I feel like I have pissed off a lot of people. So at this point in my I'm not going to say comedy career because it's not really a career. But I feel like at this point
Comedy hobby.
yeah,
I
my
think we're
hobby
all
of comedy.
hobbyists.
It's hobbyist until a Jewish person likes you enough.
Is that a conspiracy?
Is it a
Yeah. I
conspiracy?
don't know.
Or I mean, you can look up the credits on a movie, you know?
Yeah,
Steinberg, Greenberg, Berg,
Goldberg,
Goldberg, yeah.
wrestler. Wait a minute. Is that how they got into wrestling?
You're damn right it is.
Yeah, it's trendy right now. It's all right.
But with my comedy, I'm at the point where I don't give a fuck anymore.
That's good. That's
But
the
I'm at the
best place
point
to be.
I'm at a point where it's like you like me, you're gonna like it or not, and I can't really do clean stuff. I used to open up with a bit about car insurance, and I'm like, this is so fucking stupid, and it wasn't even really a clean bit. The bit was about how State Farm says like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. It
Yeah.
was about how if they were your actual neighbor, it'd be the type of neighbor to steal your weed whacker and fuck your wife when you're out of town. So it wasn't really a clean bit, but I felt super cheesy doing it.
Right. You do what you don't like, and people notice that anyway.
That I
The
think
audience
that
knows
too.
it. They see it, and it feels scripted. And I don't know. And most of the people that people worry about, like, oh no, I'm too offensive. Well, who gives a shit
That's
about
what I'm
those
saying.
people?
Yeah.
Man, fuck them. If you don't get on that person's show or that person's show because they're worried that you're too offensive for their show, fuck that show. There's other places to go.
Yeah.
That's one of the things people don't realize. They're like, there's a lot of comedians and there's not a lot of shows. That's not true. There's a lot of shows. Just find another booker, somebody that's gonna book you.
Just a lot of shitty shows.
Yeah,
There's
there's
a
some
lot
shitty
of
shows out there. They're all shitty shows. No,
yeah, for the most part.
no, it's like it's I tried to satisfy everybody. I tried to, like, in the beginning, find a way to be able to get booked by all the people.
Yeah.
And then eventually I'm just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
I'll
what
go
you
with the
have to
people
do.
that fuck with me, and the people that don't, then that's fine. I feel like eventually you're gonna hit a point where they will have to fuck with you. They're gonna be like, "Oh, I want this guy on my show because, he's got some stuff he's done," you
Yeah.
know? So, yeah, just stay true to yourself and just fucking roll with it.
Yeah. That's good advice. For the first couple years of doing stand up, I really tried to seek approval and like a
Mhm.
validation and shit. And then
You
yeah,
did your own fucking thing.
did my own thing. I'm at 10,000 Twitter followers, dude. I got fucking
That's awesome.
this past year I have 5 million impressions on Twitter
That's
and like
a lot of
100,000
fucking
likes.
that's a lot of fucking movement there.
Yeah, but it's funny cuz like my Instagram's not popping, nothing else is popping. I just got fucking like this Twitter. But it's opened some doors for me. So like that's cool, but comedy's interesting because it's like we all want to be accepted and make it big,
Yeah.
but it's like you don't really do it for that. You do it because you're usually a fucked up person that has
Right.
to gain attention some weird way, and
You need the attention, yeah.
you're like a narcissist that needs to feel like a special person.
Well, I feel like there's a balance between that. Some of them are like more fucked up and just need the attention because they missed it in their life, and there's some people who are more narcissist
Yeah,
where they're just like, I am so great, and then they're usually the ones you see them go on stage, their jokes aren't that great, but they are super confident.
yeah,
They're super confident in their shitty joke,
yeah.
and then there's the other ones where they're like less confident, but they got pretty good jokes, and you're like, oh, that's some good shit. If they you had a little bit more, you need a little bit more confidence. So like, well, my mom hit me a lot when I was a kid, so the confidence thing's
Yeah,
lacking.
they got knocked out.
Yeah.
What do you feel like do you have any like goals when you talk about comedy in the next 5 years? Or I was gonna say influences and like what do you try to do with your material, but you kind of said that earlier with goals, like when
Yeah.
trying to write. But do you have any goals in the next 5-10 years of what you want to do with comedy?
So
Because I think you're very funny, and I think you could
thanks.
do a
Thanks.
lot of stuff.
I appreciate it. I
Um,
appreciate it. It's
I feel like a problem with a lot of comedians, especially in Detroit, is they're really just stand up comedians though, and they
yeah.
do not have any of the social media. They haven't found their niche or whatever.
I haven't figured out. I mean, how to translate it into other things too.
Yeah,
Like they're just so stand up comedy orientated. Um, I don't know. I like in the stand up part of it. I just keep thinking about the different levels. Like the feature, the headliner thing.
yeah,
I'm hoping that in 5 years I could be headlining shit. And that's kind of where I'm pushing. I'm pushing like this year and beginning of next year, hopefully to be just featuring stuff,
like a yeah,
20, 25 minute, 30-minute
yeah,
spots and shit. And then, like I said, hopefully within 5 years I'm headlining stuff. And but on the other side, sketches and the podcast thing and trying to make clips, doing stuff like that. I think that's really helpful too, because you just look at it, a lot of these fucking people getting booked in these clubs now too are all just they've got 500,000 Instagram
yeah,
followers.
yeah.
They're not really a stand-up comedian. They're doing stand-up, but they're not really a stand-up comedian.
They've
They just
gotten
have a
big
lot
off
of
of crowd
followers.
work and shit
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, and
And,
crowd work videos and shit like that. Like,
and I've heard a lot of experienced older comedians. Like I've listened to a lot of podcasts where they'll talk about how a lot of those viral comedians they'll get booked on a tour
yeah.
and they don't really do a good job headlining. So it's like, are you really gonna? Is the club actually gonna have you back and stuff like that?
Right. Well,
Um,
that's why I think hopefully building both at the same time, to where if it does happen where, let's see it pops, you go viral, you get a bunch of fucking followers on Instagram, because I guess Instagram's what they weigh a lot of these club places with.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You get a lot of Instagram. Let's say I had a video or a set of videos that went viral. I get a bunch of fucking followers. I'm hoping I'm already at that spot in comedy where I'm like, oh yeah, I can already headline,
right.
to where you could just get booked at these places and you go, you do a good job, and they're like, not only did he bring a lot of people, but he was actually fucking funny, you know? We can have this guy come back whenever, you know?
Right.
So
Now you do a lot of stuff with your guitar too.
yeah,
So
yeah,
how
yeah.
much of your act is musical?
So right now I have it kind of set up for if I'm doing a feature spot, and it's like if it's a 30-minute spot, I do about 10 minutes of guitar and then 20 minutes of jokes. And
Okay.
then it's just I feel like it's a really good cap to
Yeah.
the comedy. So
Yeah.
I see it as like two separate entities. And then with the music thing, you do it one time and it works, you don't have to practice it after that. So I don't do a whole you won't
Yeah,
see
that's
me at
true.
like sometimes I'll do it randomly at like an open mic or a place where I can do it where I'll play the guitar just for fun, but I usually don't work on that because it either works or it doesn't work.
Yeah,
If
I
it
get that.
works, put it in your pocket, you're done. With a joke, it's like,
It's never
you know,
finished.
right. It's
It's
never
never
finished. You
finished.
always got to work. That's why I don't do it as often as I should.
Okay.
Because when I do, like, I'll randomly do a show and I'll play the guitar. Somebody will go, I didn't know you played guitar, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden I'll get a booking, you know, from it.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I'm like, well, shit, maybe I should be doing more of this guitar shit.
It definitely sets you apart. It
Yeah.
definitely sets you apart.
And
Uh,
all the songs I do are I went through like I think 2.5 months or something where I made a random guitar song every day,
okay.
and it was literally just start playing the guitar and then find a riff that sounds cool, and then off the top of my head writing lyrics for it. And I put out I think like 89 of them on my Instagram,
Jesus.
and I picked out the ones that I like the most of it. Those are the ones I do live now.
Okay. Nice. Nice.
Unchanged.
Unchanged.
So literally, I got a lot out of it, I guess, because I don't know. They're all like all 1 minute songs, and I don't know. Audiences like it, especially like bar crowds and shit. They're
Yeah. Do you
like
do a lot of like singing along within your songs
it's like
for like crowd work purposes? Because I asked that because do you know who J. Chris Newberg is?
yes, yeah, I know
Okay,
him.
because
Yeah,
I followed him on Twitter for some years now, and I've seen him headline at Ridley's, and
yeah,
it kind of reminds me of that, but like he did a couple things where he like it was more interactive than not,
yeah.
and I
Where you
was like,
talk to
that's
people a little bit, and
kind
then
of
you
yeah.
yeah. I haven't really done much of that. I mean, I'd like to try to incorporate that more, where you're what I'd want to do is finally get to a point where when I pick up the guitar, I'll just make something up on stage. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Something
yeah,
live
yeah.
where I'm talking to people, and then like the stuff I was doing on TikTok, which is like stream of consciousness type thing where you're just completely improvising. I'd like to get to that point, but I think I just need more time doing that.
Okay.
But that's what I'd like to do is not just do a bunch of songs and like here's comedy, here is songs, goodbye. It would be like here's comedy, here's a bunch of improvised shit that I just made up literally on the spot in front of you, and also a couple songs, good night. That'd be when I if I make it to the headliner spot, 45 minutes, it would be 25 minutes of stand up, the rest of the time of me fucking with the audience while playing the guitar, and then play a couple songs, good night. That would be my special
Okay, that's
in
a good
5
showman.
years.
It's good showmanship.
Yeah.
Um,
Cap it off. I don't know. I feel like the music always caps it off good. Everybody after you that goes up after you hates you because they're like,
yeah,
you motherfucker, and your
yeah.
guitar and your singing.
Actually talented motherfucker. You actually got some
It's
talent.
cheating. That's what I always feel like.
You're
It's
not going to
cheating with
talk
the
about your
guitar.
fucking wife and not having sex with her. How your marriage is
In your
failing.
dick.
You asshole. What do you think
Yeah.
you're talented or something?
You piece of shit. Well, that's what I wanted to do before anything. I was wanted to be a musician. I played in a bunch of
Yeah,
bands
I
and
was going to
shit.
ask you that. Do you have like musical influences? Like, who are your favorite musicians? Because that's probably
Smashing
what
Pumpkins.
started. I was going to say it's something 90s and
Mhm.
fucking
Smashing Pumpkins,
something
Billy
school
Corgan
shooter vibes,
saved my life.
some
Yeah.
Columbine vibes. You know,
For real. Yeah, it was what was his Dylan Klebold. He was my biggest influence.
Wait,
He's
that's
one
the
of the
band.
Columbine guys.
Yeah.
But Smashing Pumpkins is
Yeah.
the dichotomy of their music.
Yeah.
The I'm sad but I'm
Yeah.
angry at the same time. Sometimes I'm screaming. Sometimes I'm singing. Yeah.
Let's touch on Columbine real fast.
Okay.
I was gonna wrap this up here shortly, but I want to touch on Columbine
Yeah.
because it's. I have a couple jokes about Columbine because they're really the OGs, man. They're just the
They
OGs.
set the standard
They're
of
the culture, man. They
yeah.
did it for the culture.
They were punk rock.
Yeah.
All these new fags are
Yeah.
sorry, that's an internet term. It's not supposed to be derogatory towards homosexual people, but yeah, all these new
Yeah.
dudes, they're kind of butt rock of
Yeah.
school shootings.
Yeah. Copycat.
Columbine, they were punk rock.
Yeah, they were original.
Yeah.
They were like the MC5 or the Clash.
Yeah, they didn't know they were going to get famous from it.
No.
They didn't want to get famous from it. They were like,
No.
I just want to kill everybody in my school. And all these new people, they're like, sure, I want to kill everybody in my school, but
Yeah.
I really want to be on TV.
I'm really sad. I'm really, really sad.
They
Just
were
can't
like,
go on anymore.
no, those dudes, they were just like, this world's fucked, bro. They're kind of like Kaczynski, like
Ted
a Ted
Kaczynski.
Kaczynski of school shootings, They're like, we need to make a change. And the only way we can do it is by killing everybody.
Wow.
That's the way you
know,
make a difference.
I don't know what this says about me, but it makes me happy to picture them having fun on a field trip before the shooting. Like they were just normal kids. Like, do you think Dylan like going to the zoo?
Well, that's part of the thing that I think is funny is that, well, I guess maybe not too funny,
Not-
but that like everybody just saw them as it, like how it was back in school where you have like the goths and like
Yeah.
all that. They just kind of saw it as that, as like this, like they're not serious, but secretly they were fucking
Yeah.
serious. They're like, yeah, let's kill everybody, and everybody's like, oh, those guys are so crazy,
Yeah.
aren't they? They're silly. They're silly guys.
Yeah.
No, they were fucking. They were punk rock. They weren't punk rock just to have the hairdo, and they weren't school shooters just to have the outfit, And then
Yeah.
when shit hit the fan, they're like, I'm gonna call my mom and have her pick me up. No, they were punk rock.
Yeah, they were good. I think I'm gonna wrap it up there.
School shooting.
Yeah, I would wrap it on the lightest note we have, I guess, because I have random notes that I just completely forgot. Like, there's just libtard pussy.
Libtard pussy.
Yeah, I don't know what that meant. Or ghost of Tim Allen at Mark Ridley's, which I don't know. Tim Allen's still alive. I don't really know what I meant by that the other day when I wrote that.
He's in the Comedy Castle dungeon.
Yeah, you just hear him snorting lines. You hear the razor blade on the table in the back. What was that? It was Ghost of Tim Allen.
What the fuck was that?
So one last thing I'll ask you, because you did the Detroit to LA competition last year.
Yeah, I did that. Yeah.
And I have it coming up in like 2 weeks.
Mhm.
And I've wanted to get on the show for years.
Yeah.
And now that I'm finally here, I'm like, fuck, dude, I got some stiff competition. So do you have any advice for me going to the Detroit to LA with my style being like pretty dark, and relatively political?
Just have fun as much as you can. Like don't even think of it as being a competition.
Okay.
Like just try to have as much fun as you can. Obviously do solid material that you got, and just have fun. And then in the end, if you get it or you don't, just don't let it don't let it be some type of sign of how good you are or how bad you are or any of that. Don't let it be a gauge for how well you do in comedy.
I got you.
Because a lot of that is, there's an audience vote.
Yeah.
So if somebody's got 60 people they bring in, they're probably going to get the audience vote. The other one is the judges, and you don't know what criteria they're really grading on.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna ask who the judge is, but maybe we'll talk about that off camera.
Yeah, I don't really know exactly who they are.
Where are they? Just
I don't
sitting
know
in,
who the judges are.
Right.
Never has anybody told me. No,
are they
but yeah,
sitting in
just
the
have
back
as
room?
much fun as you can, and then just that'll probably be the best outcome for you. Period.
Okay.
Like my buddy Matt Wolf, when I was on, he was on the same show as me. The whole time he's like, yeah, I'm probably not going to get this one, like, because the people we were with, he's like, yeah, I'm probably not going to get the audience or the judge vote. And he's like, I'm just going to have a good time. And he did. He just went out, had a good time. He got the judge's vote. So,
Nice.
that'd be my only advice is don't go in there, worrying about really winning or losing, and just have as much fun as possible. You might be surprised,
Okay.
It's better to be surprised than to be like, oh, I gotta get this, and be disappointed.
Yeah, that's true. I got
Yeah.
you. I
But yeah, just have fun, and you might get it. You might get it.
might say the N-word.
You might say the N-word. Well, maybe don't say the N-word. Mark Ridley might be watching, and he's like, he'll send all the passenger pigeons out to all the other places and be like,
Yeah,
this guy said the N-word.
Think about saying the N-word. What's your game plan? N-word. First thing.
I'm
right
gonna
off
come
the
out.
bat.
I'm just gonna start screaming it. That might actually work, to be honest. No. Like, this man is bold.
Yeah, I respect him, and I've seen Carlin before. Okay, I'm gonna end it there. Do you have anything you want to promote? I know you have a podcast. Is it Monkey Sex Dungeons?
It's Sex Monkey Dungeon.
Sex Monkey Dungeons. Damn it.
Yeah, Sex Monkey Dungeon. It's with Drew Campbell, who, if you talk to him, you should have him on here. He's a good guy to talk to. He's funny.
Yeah, he's very funny.
So we got that, and I'm on Instagram and all that other stuff. I don't think I have any shows to like say that I'm doing. I don't have anything special like to say that I'm doing. Let me see.
He's around.
I'm at the Windsor. Oh, I'm at Windsor Comedy Club this Saturday, which I don't know when you're gonna put this out.
It's gonna be probably today, tomorrow.
Okay,
If
cool.
that audio fucking I don't know what the fuck the camera was doing, because it's not doing it now, and it hasn't been doing it, but it was doing it at first. And there is a scene of me walking up to the camera going, "Oh, I don't fucking know," and just like turning it off. So that's gonna be fun to edit around. But
Well, yeah. So this Saturday I'll be at well, it's not Windsor Comedy Club actually. The name of the place, I don't know. I'm gonna be in Windsor. So if you're in Windsor, go there.
If you're in Canada,
If you're in Windsor, message me, or if you feel like going to Windsor, go there. It's gonna be fun. The Windsor guys there, who are awesome. Like I said, you should hook up with them. They're just really cool dudes to
okay,
hang out with, and they think you're funny, then they give you stuff. You don't really have to do all these hoops and stuff for a lot of other bookers in the area.
Canadians are straight shooters.
Yeah.
Straight shooters. All right, Chris.
School shooters. No.
I'm going to end it. If you've watched this whole thing, thank you so much. Follow Chris
Thanks.
Barrett on social media. Have a good night, guys.
Have a good one.